Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's Atletico Madrid versus Juventus in Champions League, and it's the knockout stage first leg in Spain, and I hope you're all doing very, very well. I'm very excited about this one. I think this is what this channel's about in many ways. It's the purist in us all. It's the real football fans. It's the ones who, we've got the clubs that we support. We've got the Premier League if that's the main league for you. But Atletico Madrid versus Juventus, it's a deeper layer of football fan. It's a deeper level of football purist. And for the purists, this is the game to watch, isn't it? This has got top quality players that don't play in the league that we're interested in potentially, but very, very excited about it. For me, there's an Alabama hot pocket in here already. This is going to be filth, but it was a great video. 0-0 Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich and Liverpool last night, but we had a good old chat on the live comments. More than happy to do that again tonight. We can get into your favourite TV series, bag of crisps, whatever, but we will be watching this game as well. I often get asked. I don't really. I'm just making it up because we're live. I do get asked who my sort of favourite team on the continent is, and it's always been Juventus. It goes back to David Platt and Gianluca Vialli, and it goes back to, what was that goalie's name? Was it Peruzzi, the goalie? I've always liked Juventus. It goes back to Italia 90, Channel 4, Italian football. A lot of you won't be old enough for that. So I've always liked Juventus, and they've obviously got the Di Cesare, the Italian name as well. So that's going to throw people off a bit. But Red Baron says, how does Mad Marcus run a fake taxi ring and that's football? Seems like a hard-working guy. He isn't on tonight. Mad Marcus isn't here tonight. So if you're here for Mad Marcus, you can go. People actually have left. Sad lives. But I know he's got a cult fan club, but no Mad Marcus tonight. It will just be me and you lot, which for me is a bonus. I love Mad Marcus, but we'll be able to rip into the live comments a little bit more, which is good. So yeah, I'm going for Juventus tonight. Ronaldo for me in my lifetime is the best player I've seen consistently. Look, I'm not getting into that Messi versus Ronaldo debate. I just haven't seen Messi play as much as I've seen Ronaldo, because Ronaldo used to play for United, so he feels more real to me. I mean, Messi's fantastic, and I don't think there's any doubt that Messi's the best player in the world now. I think Ronaldo is starting to tail off, but he is 2 or 3 years older than Messi, which you would expect. But very excited. I've not seen much of Ronaldo this year. Really looking forward to it. And I'm just putting a tweet out, that's why I'm there. I'm just literally, I tweet what I like on Twitter. I've just put, it's Ronaldo versus Weasel Griezmann. Because I don't like him. I don't like Griezmann. I used to like Griezmann. I used to think Griezmann would fit Manchester United like a glove. I really did. I thought he'd be absolutely perfect for Manchester United. And he led us up the garden path and turned round and messed up our summer. But the thing that really pushed me against Griezmann was the video he did before the World Cup. He actually made a video before the World Cup about where he was going to play, and then went to Atletico Madrid. He is a cringe merchant, and I don't like him. I know this isn't about United, but keep an eye on Thomas Partey. He is good fit for Manchester United's theatre of games. Look, it's in all Swee, isn't it? Is it Swee or is it Swoo? I'm a little bit old for this, but if it's is it Swee? David Platt from Corrie. Good one, Sir Wilsley. No, David Platt, the former England footballer, scored a cracking goal in the quarterfinal of the 1990 World Cup against Belgium. Went to Italy, played for Bari, Sampdoria, Juventus. I think that was the only 3 he played for. But at one time, David Platt was the most valuable player in world football because his transfer fee accumulation went, I think, above £100 million. There's a little bit of early nostalgia information for you there. There's Griezmann with his I've just got up hair. I just don't like, for a player I really used to like Griezmann. If you've listened to me talk on the United stand maybe 2-3 years ago. I used to love Griezmann, and it just shows you how you can change your opinion on somebody when you realise they're a prick. But team news is important, of course. So you've got Oblak in goal for Atletico Madrid with Belen, Jimenez, Godin, Luis. There's the back four. I've got to say, I think Jimenez and Godin, whether it's Uruguay or Atletico Madrid, are stunning as a centre-back partnership. So it's going to be very interesting tonight. Saul Niguez in the midfield with Partey, Hernandez, Koch, and then Griezmann and Costa. They're a good team. They're a good team, Atletico Madrid, and they're doing very well in the Liga at the moment, and this is going to be a very tough test for Juventus. I think if Juventus are planning on winning the Champions League, they're going to have to obviously get past this game, but it's going to be a massive test for them. Morata on the bench for Atletico Madrid, Lamar on the bench for Atletico Madrid, and a few others of note. I've just picked those. For Juventus, it's Chesney, Descilio, Bonucci, Chiellini. I mean, basically, what a pair of centre-backs we've got tonight. We've got Jimenez and Godin, and you've got Bonucci and Chiellini. It's almost as good as Goldbridge and Lindelof. You've got Silva, Bentanca, Pjanic, Matuidi, Dybala, Mandzukic and Ronaldo. I'm quite surprised Mandzukic is playing. I don't know what the story is with Douglas Costa. I don't know what that is, but Ronaldo, Mandzukic, Dybala, Matuidi, Pjanic and Bentanca. I really like Bentanca, another Uruguayan, absolutely fantastic player. I really do rate him, so if you don't know much about him, absolutely brilliant. If you are getting a bit stuck with BBC saying Lobo Silva, that is Alexandro. His full name is Alexandro Lobo Silva. So hence that confusion for you. But I don't know where Douglas Costa is. Score predictions in this one could be rather interesting because somebody just said in the live comments that Juventus are quite boring. Well, I would say that Atletico Madrid are a little bit tight. They can be a bit of a camel's arse in a sandstorm, but we're off and running, and I'm really excited. You know what? United games, I love United games, but you can get, whether you're a Liverpool fan watching or an Arsenal or a Chelsea fan, we won't have any Man City fans, will we? They don't exist. But you do get nervous about your games. These sort of games, like I say, from a purist point of view, you just sit back and you love it, and realistically, you're not massively emotionally engaged like you are when it's your club, so you can just sit back and admire it. And as I said, I think the two centre-back pairings of Chiellini and Bonucci and Godin and Jimenez are a joy to watch. And to be honest with you, we won't get many more years watching them because they're all getting on a bit now, aren't they? I think Jimenez is quite young, but Godin's in his 30s, Bonucci's in his 30s, Chiellini's in his 30s. So yeah, and Griezmann with a shot over the bar there. I don't know what's going on here. Something's gone on off the pitch. Was he given a penalty? Well, that's not a penalty. It's a FIFA penalty, that. Is he given a penalty for that? No. Atletico Madrid making a meal of that. I mean, basically, Griezmann shoots the volley and Matuidi's follow-through catches the top of Griezmann's foot. On FIFA, they probably give a penalty, but the play is gone. He's gone for the ball, he's late. Nothing in it for me and nothing given. Who is better, Hazard or Griezmann, says Kazem Haider? I think, actually, that's a very good question because I actually think Hazard's better than Griezmann. That's one that's going to shock you all, isn't it? I really, really not a big fan of Griezmann. I might tweet that in a bit just to wind a few people up, but I'm not a fan of Griezmann, to be honest. I've got no idea what happened with the subscriber count on That's Football. We hit 60,000 last night, and it's now on 59,716. So please do subscribe if you're new, of course, but I ain't doing a 60,000 countdown again because we did it yesterday, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'm hoping they're going to come back, but they do fluctuate. But Atletico Madrid have started off very, very well here. Costa feeding it wide to Griezmann, and well, let's not forget Atletico Madrid are the home side. Is Roy Keane your all-time favourite player, and who's your all-time favourite England player, says Sir Wilsley. Roy Keane's my all-time favourite Manchester United player in my lifetime. My all-time favourite England player would probably be Gascoigne. He was just amazing. I love Gascoigne. Chris Waddle. I liked Chris Waddle as well when I was younger. He was a very, very good player, Chris Waddle. But yeah, probably Gascoigne. I mean, Rooney was good. I liked Rooney. And people might say Gerrard and that, but actually in an England shirt, they didn't really do that much. So for me, in an England shirt, that's what it's all about. Well. Allegri's too negative, says Phil Mitchell. Well, you know, it would be a waste if they are negative because they've got some very good players. But it's the Italian way, isn't it? I was just thinking actually then, before I went live, I was just having a quick wee and I was thinking about Ronaldo. And don't worry, nothing happened. I'm not like that. I stayed as flaccid as ever. But I was thinking about Ronaldo while I was having a wee and I thought, the Juventus move, really, is it the right move for Ronaldo? And maybe it was the only option he had, but I think on the face of it, it looked like a great move. But if Juventus don't get to like the semi-finals at least of the Champions League, then the move is a bit of a failure for Ronaldo. I mean, of course, he's going to win a Scudetto. He's going to win the title in Italy, but it's really about what he does in the Champions League. He's just won 3 Champions Leagues in a row with Real Madrid, and a player of his quality should still be at the very, very, very top of his game. And I just don't think the Italian league has got yet what he needs it to be. So it's a very interesting few games for Juventus as to how far they can go in this tournament. What I'm trying to say is if Ronaldo had come to the Premier League, he'd be more popular worldwide than Messi because the Premier League is such a well-publicised league. I just don't think Serie A is. So I don't think the Ronaldo brand actually gets what it was getting. Lovely play by Griezmann there. Skips past 2 players. Still got 2 more players to get past. And a shit final ball. It was a good run by Griezmann, but there you go. George Ramos has made a contribution. Thank you, George. He says, hi, Mark. I hope you're good. Yesterday's match was so boring. You might as well have done one for a QPR versus West Brom Watchalong. Where is Marcus and FIFA Ultimate Team coming back? FIFA Ultimate Team will be coming back, but Marcus won't be on the show tonight. He's got... I think he was meant to be on, but if anyone who watched last night, he found out what a Bukkake party was. He was meant to be on the stream tonight, and then I got a message saying I'm off to a party tonight. Put 2 and 2 together. I think we know what's happened, but he's not going to be on tonight. Nathaniel James makes a good point. Maybe Ronaldo would have struggled at 33 in the Premier League. No point ruining your reputation. I don't know what Ronaldo's... Let's have a quick look at this. Instead of speculating, let's have a quick look at a few things to give us a bit of context. So, Atletico Madrid are currently second in La Liga with 47 points. They're 7 points behind Barcelona. Ronaldo's just had a foul against him there. It's about 40 yards out, so he won't be scoring from there. So, a very good season, just to give you a bit of context behind Atletico Madrid. Obviously, Juventus are top of Serie A. They're on 66 points, and Napoli are on 53 points. I mean, I think if you took... I mean, the Juventus are 20 points clear of third place, and they are 13 points clear of second place. I mean, they're running away with it, to be frank. And it's becoming a little bit of a boring. I mean, I should have a T-shirt. I watch a lot of Italian football. I must admit, I haven't watched as much this season as I did last year, which is surprising because Ronaldo is one of my favourite players. But it's becoming boring how often Juventus are winning the league. It's just not competitive. It's becoming a bit like Germany, although they have got better quality players below it. His stats this season for Ronaldo are still very, very good. 24 goals and 19 appearances. 24 appearances. 32 appearances and 21 goals. Whereas for Real Madrid, look at his stats. 438 games and 450 goals. He scored more goals than he played games. So it's not as good for Juventus, but it's a little bit tighter, I suppose. Diego Costa is an idiot. He's just got himself booked and misses the next game. Never been the brightest, has he? I'm not actually sure what he got booked for, to be honest. But it's a cracking free kick from Ronaldo. Long way out. Ronaldo's a bit of a myth with free kicks. He scored that absolute stonker for United against Portsmouth all those years ago, but he doesn't actually score that many free kicks. This one was pretty much straight at the keeper, really. It just had a lot of power, but it was a long way out. But Douglas Costa out of the second leg now, which actually is a massive blow for Atletico Madrid because they'll probably have to play Morata against one of his former clubs. But Costa has been a massive boost to Atletico Madrid this season. I don't like Costa, but I don't know whether we've got any Chelsea fans who can verify this for me, but I actually think that if Chelsea had kept Costa, then Chelsea would have been a better team, because I think that's what they miss, a number 9. But it's getting a bit silly in this game. Atletico Madrid are really hounding the referee, and it's like they want players to be booked for every foul. So this is I don't watch an awful lot of La Liga, and I don't watch a lot of La Liga for this reason. They hound the referees. There's a lot of unsporting behaviour, but it's a lot more stop-start than the Premier League. Ref is horrible, says Kwesi King. I don't know what Costa did to get booked. Does anyone know where Douglas Costa is tonight? I don't know. Imagine all the people. Douglas Costa is at a Bukkake party, says Samuel Towers. He'll be with Marcus. Peter Crouch says the reason Ronaldo's stats are down in Serie A is because it's harder than La Liga. Yeah, it is. It is. The games are a lot tighter in Italy, and they always have been. I think La Liga's gone a bit crap below the sort of top 4 or 5 teams now as well. It seems to be going through a bit of a dodgy phase, which is, I think it's very interesting to see. I think Barcelona are one of the favourites for the Champions League, but then it wouldn't surprise me if they did what happened to them last year against Roma, because it's hard to gauge how good La Liga is. Ooh, good header there from Chiellini from the corner. Got up well, and it wasn't Chiellini, it was Bonucci. They've both got skinheads. Cross comes in, gets up well. I think he should score. He's up. I think Bonucci should score that. Should have scored, says Luke Farmer, and I agree. Simeone's not happy. That's a debate for you. Who's better, says Vutiv Melvin, Lukaku or Morata? I think we can both agree they're both shit. I'd say Lukaku's better than Morata, really, because his goal-scoring record is, he's still a 30-goal a season player, isn't he, Lukaku? He won't be this year because he can't get on the team sheet, but he does score. He does score, whereas Griezmann... But then again, depends what you want, because Morata, his build-up play is infinitely better than Lukaku, but Lukaku scores goals more than Morata. We did have 60,000 subscribers, yes. I don't know what's gone wrong, so if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel, and we might be able to hit 60,000 again. This is not the only match on Ballyfinboy. It is Schalke versus Man City, but who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I wouldn't want Griezmann at Man United now. I did want him. He milked the situation, didn't he? I don't want him. Jeffrey J says, friendly reminder that La Liga has won 19 of the last 20 European trophies. One bad game by Barcelona does not mean the league is going through a dodgy time. It's a good point, but I don't agree with it because Dybala, he's given a foul. It's a shame. We're talking about the quality of the league, and I think the quality of the league is crap beyond the top 3 or 4 teams. I don't think it's that good at all. But as I've said before about La Liga, for Real Madrid and Barcelona, they should be winning the Champions League every year because the deal that they have in La Liga, I mean, they're massive clubs anyway with lots of revenue, but the deal they have in La Liga sets them up to be dominant across Europe because they have their TV deal. They basically get percentage based on the pull that they bring, whereas in the Premier League, United don't get all the most money because they're Manchester United. It gets distributed fairly across all the teams. Whereas in La Liga, they don't do it fairly. It's a good shot by Partey straight at Chesney from a long way out. Whereas in La Liga, they don't. They control their own. Samet says you obviously don't watch La Liga, Mark. Samet, it's all about opinion. Don't tell me what I do with my life. I think that La Liga, beyond the top 3 or 4 teams, is a bit of a banter league. That's why Messi and Ronaldo scored so many hat-tricks, because they consistently beat teams 5-6-0 in that league. You don't get many of those scorelines in our league, unless you're Chelsea. Still 0-0 in this one. Calum says, aren't you a Manchester United fan? Yes. What part of supporting a club doesn't mean you don't watch other games? Don't you grasp? I'm surprised Juventus have not invested in a new keeper, says Metal Man Sam. Well, apparently they want De Gea. I think they will invest in a new keeper because if you think, let's not forget, as bad as Jose Mourinho was, Manchester United beat Juventus in Turin. And I think if we'd played that game 10 times, we would have lost it 9 times. They were so dominant. But ultimately, we smashed and grabbed it, didn't we, in the last 10 minutes? And Chesney was probably at fault for certainly the second goal. Watch Thomas for Atletico. Should replace Matic, says Tom Hazelwood. Yeah, he's a good player, Partey, isn't he? Thomas Partey. A lot of people talking about Partey, Peter G. Well, keep your eye on him. Number 5 for Atletico Madrid. He does sort of do that sitting role for Atletico Madrid. It's the thing about whenever anybody says, take a look at this Atletico Madrid player, could he come to United? I sort of switch off because it's so hard to get players from Atletico Madrid. They always seem to stay. I like Ndombele anyway as the replacement for Matic. Hader Noaz says you should be Birmingham City for your next football manager. I don't like Birmingham City. Just never have. They've got no. I've got no sort of affection for them. I'm thinking about. You're not far off though. I'm thinking about being Aston Villa, and then I'm going to get Mason Greenwood on loan and probably to Heath Chong, because they've already got Twan Seaby, and then I've got 3 United lads. Josh Pratt says, how big a boost is it for Spurs' title chances that Harry Kane is back in training? I don't think that Spurs can win the league, simply because they've got to go to Man City and Liverpool, and I don't think they can win those 2 games. And they also they'd need to win, although basically Spurs would need to win every single league game. They'll definitely finish 3rd. They might even get 2nd, but I can't see them winning the league. Although, as a United fan, I would love them to win the league. They're the ones I want to win the league, but I just don't think they can do it. City are 1-0 up against Schalke. Quite an easy game for them. Oh. It's interesting in this Juventus team, actually, because Ronaldo's playing more of a lot deeper. I mean, Mandzukic is playing as the sort of striker, obviously, and Ronaldo's they're sort of doing a 5-3-2-1 with Mandzukic as the head, and then Ronaldo as the right side and Dybala as the left side. I must admit, when I was playing FIFA 19, Juventus were one of my favourite teams to be. I quite liked Juventus. Because basically, if you just get it to Ronaldo from 30 yards and smash it, it either goes in or it gets sent out for a corner. Then you get your centre-backs up and score. But Atletico Madrid on the counter-attack here. Good chance. This should be a goal. No, they've cleared it. That looked like a foul, ref. He's not giving it on Bentancur. He's played it on. Griezmann again. I tell you, I think this tie will be very, very close. Although, keeper's there. It's back in the keeper's hands. 4-3-2-1. Sorry, Jack Coleman, if I said 5-3-2-1. That doesn't exist. It's one too many, and they'd get done for cheating. Wolves are a better team than Arsenal thought, says B. Yakov. I said, before the season even started, when Wolves were doing well in the Championship, I said that they would definitely finish in the top half of the season, and I think I said they'd finish 7th. If they hadn't dropped so many silly points to teams that they should have been beating, I think Wolves would have given them a run for their money. But I don't think they'll finish above Arsenal. Thomas Lemar has flopped massively. He really has, Jack Coleman. And he was a player that a lot of United Arsenal fans were talking about. Pjanic is getting a lot of love. Z says, would you take Dybala or Icardi to Manchester United? See, I would take Icardi, but actually, when you're thinking about what United probably need, I think Dybala would suit us better, because Icardi is probably going to take the striking role, which you would probably want Rashford to take. Whereas if you brought Dybala in, you could keep Rashford up front, you could have Martial on the left, then you could put Dybala to the right and use them as a front 3. Whereas I think Icardi, you'd have to move Rashford to the bench or to the right or left. So I think I'd be very happy with either, but I'd probably think Dybala would suit United better. Especially if you think about the role that Mata played against Chelsea. If you wanted to do that formation, I think it's heaven made for Dybala, that is. I agree with Eric Ernst Handler. He says, I think the Champions League is great, but it's nowhere near as strong as the Austrian League. Here's Juventus doing a good bit of work here. Can they get the cross in? Again, over the bar from, I think it was Bantanka that time. No, it wasn't. It was Mandzukic, who always has a very good tan for somebody from Croatia. He really does look like he's had a couple of weeks in the Seychelles. Maybe he has. Aaron Walton says, yeah, Dybala, so Rashford can be number one. Opinions on Diego Costa, says Johnny Meston. He's an absolute arsehole, but I think if he's in your team, he does help it a lot. And I think that as an observer of Chelsea's demise since they last won the league, I think it was Costa that was the biggest loster. Because you think about it, they had that bad season under Conte, they're now not doing so well again, and I think if you stuck Costa in that team, it makes the job of Hazard a little bit easier and everybody around him. So yeah, I don't like him, but I think he brings a lot to the team. Kisali Chakrabarti says, what's your opinion on Ruben Neves? Very, very good player. Whether he'd come to Manchester United or not, I don't know. I think that's the George Mendes issue is a problem for United, that we don't seem to be able to move past. His agent just doesn't seem to want to work with United. But I think he will be moving on from Wolves at some point. He's the sort of player who might not stay in the Premier League. He could end up going to like PSG or something like that. But I think he'll end up, or he could go to a Liverpool. But he looks like a very, very good player. Richarlison as backup, says Bilal. I mean, he's not really been that consistent, Richarlison, at Everton, has he? I think you need to go better than that. I think United need to start, if United start signing players like Richarlison, are we improving on what we've got, or are we getting potentially players that are not good enough again? I think United signings from now on need to be top quality players. So, as Theatre of Games has just said, a De Ligt or a Sancho or a Ruben Neves, real star quality players. That's what United need to be going for. Doesn't mean they've got to be £150 million players, but they've got to be players that have got that star quality consistency, and maybe they are a little bit younger, like a Sancho or a De Ligt or a Ruben Neves. But if you look at those three players, all right, they're not world class yet. I think they will be, and they're all very, very young. They are showing consistently that they are very good players, and I think United need that. And I don't think, Richarlison, his age, he's probably about 26, is he? He's not showing that consistency. And I don't think he's as good as those players we've named either. So that's what I think United should be going for. Especially when you're looking to close gaps. Ronaldo's got a bad back. Sad one in the back from Thomas Partey. I think, joking apart, Arsenal will win tomorrow, won't they? I think that, and I want Arsenal to win tomorrow. I want them to stay in the Emmerdale Cup for as long as possible, because I want them to really feel the impact of Thursday, Sunday football for as long as possible, because I think it will mess up their league form. So I don't want Arsenal to go out tomorrow, but they're not going to go out tomorrow. They'll turn that round probably 3-4, 5-0. But it was just funny for them to lose to Belarus and Farmers. But they'll win tomorrow. Ooh! He's got to give a penalty. What a stupid idiot. He's going to go to VAR, but to me, I think the foul's in the penalty box. Mad Marcus says, you missed out on the Alabama hot pie party. You should have never left early, Goldie. I had to fill 3 holes. Filth from him. But we've got a penalty here. Costa. It's really bad luck. Costa goes past him and he trips. I think the contact's outside the box. Yeah, it's outside the box. He dives into the box. That is not a penalty. Yeah, it's definitely not a penalty. It's going to be a free kick. It looked like a penalty, but the contact is outside the box. So it's got to be a free kick. And he falls into the box. He's sort of like running across the top quadrant of the box. And VAR penalty review. That's where VAR works. That's where VAR works. Is the game worth watching, says Quiz on my face. It's a bit of a chess match, and I like a chess match. I like a game of chess. It's like DT when he was on about a boxing match. I said, no, let's have a game of chess. And he went, I don't know the rules. It's too clever for me. I like a game of chess, and I like a football game that's a game of chess, and this is a game of tactical chess. I wouldn't watch tactical chess football every week. I would get bored, but every now and again, when it's got a lot riding on it, I like it. So it depends whether you like that things. Biakov says it looked like a dive. He made the most of it, and he dived for the box, but it was accidental, but it clipped him. Mark, who do you think will win the Champions League? I think Barcelona, says Matthew Stratus. And the free kick from Griezmann has gone for a corner. I think that the Champions League is very, very hard to predict. But I said at the start of the season, through gritted teeth, that I quite fancied Man City to win it. And at the moment, I haven't seen Barcelona since the group stage because I didn't watch them last night. But I still think City are one of the favourites to win it. I was impressed with Bayern Munich last night, though. But whether that Bayern Munich team's good enough to beat Man City, I don't know. I think Man City are probably the favourites at the moment, which is why, if you're wanting City to win the league over Liverpool, City have got a very good chance of doing the treble, because I think they could win the Champions League as well. I fancy Juve to win it, says Aaron Walton. In this first half an hour, I haven't really seen enough. That's the joy of the Emmerdale Cup, isn't it? Arsenal are actually playing at 5:30 tomorrow night. Oh, God. The banter of being in the Emmerdale Cup. I mean, it happened to us. You know, it did happen to United. I absolutely hated it. But it's 5:30 kickoffs on a Thursday. You know you're in the Emmerdale Cup when you're playing European football at that time on a Thursday. I'd say Atletico Madrid have probably edged this game so far, but I mean, they are the home team. Good play from Ronaldo here. Jimenez. Foul. And of course, I think we're probably, in this game, we've got probably the two best centre-back partnerships in world football. Godin and Jimenez, and Bonucci and Chiellini. I mean, if you want to name me a better one, please do. I would have said last season that Ramos and Varane, but they're having a bad season. So I'd say currently we're seeing the two best centre-back partnerships in world football. And don't say Van Dijk and Lovren or Lindelof and Smalling. I mean, I think Van Dijk is a very, very good centre-back, but I don't think he's got the partner for him at the moment. Do you think it could be a Man City PSG final, says Luke Howard? I mean, look, you know what? All joking apart, PSG were impressive. I never think of PSG because I always think they're going to bottle it, but I think PSG were impressive. And when you think that they've got Neymar and Cavani to come back, I think PSG look impressive. And the thing about PSG is they obviously play in a league that's hard to step up to the Champions League because it's so easy. But subscribe to That's Football and get involved, because we do all the watch-alongs on the Champions League. And I think this year, I thought last year was very exciting and it was wide open. But I think this year it's even more wide open because obviously Real Madrid, back-to-back winners for 3 years, they were an amazing team. But they're not an amazing team anymore. So I'd be very surprised if Real Madrid won the Champions League. But it's going to be a very interesting tournament. I mean, you've got Atletico Madrid versus Juventus, and you've got Liverpool Bayern, and you've got United PSG, and it's not even the quarterfinals. Imagine what the quarterfinals are going to be like. Tom and Jerry are the best centre-back partnerships, Vishnu. Well, and there we wander off into our first off-football topic of the evening. Who are, and it can be anything in life, who are the best partnership? Tom and Jerry, Laurel and Hardy, Hale and Pace, Ant and Deck. Get your partnerships in the live comments. I'll have a think of a few more for myself. I used to like Cannon and Ball when I was little. No one will remember who they were. Rosemary and Thyme, the classic British detective show. Han Solo and Chewie. Batman and the Joker were not a partnership, Raph. It'd be Batman and Robin. Mark and DT would definitely not be a partnership, Annie Rudd. That would be the... We can do that. We can do that one maybe in the second half. The best villain rivalry. Villain and superhero. That would be me and DT, and he's the villain. Tom and Jerry were definitely the best partnership, says Tom Sayer. Mia Khalifa and Riley Reid, says Firmino Glitcher. There's always filth. Bonnie and Clyde, says Alexi Yersor. Mark and Marcus, says Jake MB. I think that is a very, very good combination. You're right. Paul and Barry Chuckle. They were very good. Juventus are just moving the ball around at the moment. Nikhil Katani, says Mark and DT, and he made a contribution for it. And I like this one from Red Baron. He says Gimli and Legolas. And what a lovely couple they were. They ended up adopting in the end because they were both male, so they couldn't naturally conceive. And they had heart. And if they had done, what would it have looked like? Half elf, half dwarf. So they ended up adopting a hobbit. But what tales they had in the bedroom and out. Fred, no, I'm not reading that one. Shaggy and Scooby, says Taylor J. Should have kept this back for the podcast, really. Subscribe to my channel as well, Mark Goldbridge. But a bit end-to-end at the moment. Sort of similar to the Liverpool-Bayern game, to be honest, because it's 0-0. But also end-to-end with no action. Need to take the clothes off. Surprised that wasn't a foul there by someone from Atletico Madrid. I couldn't see who it was. Corner ball. Lone Wanderer says the best partnership is Arsenal and banter. Yes. Sanchez and his dog, says Hosto. I guess the game must be boring if we're talking about things off topic. No, I always do that on That's Football. We always delve into off topic things as well and keep an eye on football. Corner comes in, flicked over the bar by, I think that was Jimenez. I don't think it was Jimenez actually, it was Rodrigo. Apparently there's a penalty in the City game. Best partnership, Jack Coleman says pineapple on pizza. You see, that's controversial, but I'm in that gang. You can't beat fruit on pizza. Well, you can. I mean, imagine apple on a pizza. Apple might work. Orange wouldn't work. Grapefruit would be hideous. Banana would be criminal. But pineapple on pizza with a bit of ham. Back of the net. Or back of the neck. And it's 1-1, Man City and Schalke. So 1-1. But obviously that's away from home. So City have got the away goal, which is key. I wonder how many City fans travel across Europe to watch City play, considering none of them can be asked to turn up in their own country. Rodney and Del Boy was a cracking combination, Mitchell Bunn. "36 minutes gone. Mark, do you watch Naked Attraction?" says George Ramos. No, I don't. And is DT a Luton fan, says the Red Devil. Will you go back on the kickoff? If I get asked, I'll try and do it. I might not get asked again, despite them getting huge viewing figures for me being on there. They'd be foolish not to ask me back on. But, maybe egos were burnt and they might not ask me on. But no, seriously, I would go on. Dancing Queen and Theresa May, says ABW. Funny and political. Flex and rants? Yeah, debatable. I think that's more of a trio with me. Would I take Ronaldo back? Of course I would. I'd swap him for Lukaku every day of the week. Jimenez would be good at United, Jorgen, but you just can't get players out of Atletico Madrid. Simeone, you look an idiot in that coat. If you took your coat off, you'd look a lot better. Take your coat off. Allegri looks much better than you in a coat. You look rubbish. And your hair looks rubbish. It looks like a wild bush. Phil Jones and pink boots is a good combination, Liam Thompson. I will give you that. Gin and tonic, says Sally Devil Red 7. Not bad. Pie and chips. That's another one. Son, Goku and Vegeta are the best partnerships, says George Ramos. I can see a Costa red card, says David Raworth. Yeah, well, you know what? That's a very good point, David, because he's on an early yellow card, and there are no, everyone thinks, well, Godin and Jimenez and Chiellini and Bonucci, they're all about good defending. But if you've played football yourself, you'll know that good centre-backs, it's not just about good defending, it's about getting in the ear of the striker, it's about mentally getting at them, giving them a little dig here and there. You can guarantee they'll be doing that to Costa for the rest of this game now, and it's just whether Costa snaps or not. But Juventus on the attack here. Oh, I'd love Juventus to get an away goal. I've just realised how much I want them to win. Dybala into the box. Keeper's got it. Adam Rooney in injury, says Flinzer 18. Oh, it destroyed my football manager career. I still can't get over the sack from Salford. It still keeps me awake at night. Coca-Cola and ice cream, says Noah Bish. Oh, that makes me feel like sick. Fellaini and Mourinho, says Lionel Villegas. Atletico Madrid crowd are having a good time. We're all having a jump about. Jack Steele says Mark and Lyle and Scott. I do like my Lyle and Scott stuff. Gemma Collins and ice, says Daniel Taylor. Oh, I love that football and the chats that we have. Neymar and his sister, Michael Rain. High five, that's the best one yet. Oh, Ronaldo. Oh, the referee's saying it's not a foul, and if he's got that wrong, the ref's very happy that he's got it right. Ronaldo's down clutching his leg. He's right as well. It's a nasty foul, that is. Nasty. Stamps through on his foot, got in. Nasty foul on Ronaldo. He hasn't dived there. The second legs could be very interesting, even though may seem like foregone conclusions, says Luke Howard. Oh, it's Juan Fran. It wasn't... They both had a dig at Ronaldo, to be fair. Nasty. Schalke have got another penalty, says Jack. I think, there was a comment there that's absolutely whizzed by from Jack Cleary. He's saying that Wenger and the Champions League are by far the best partnership in sport, Mark. I personally would expand on that and say that Arsenal and the last 16 of the Champions League was the best partnership ever. It was always that. All folks, straight out, wasn't it? George Ramos says, why do you and DT hate each other? What's the story? It's well documented. I don't really want to even give him the steam off my piss, to be honest, and talk about it. So it's well documented. I don't want to talk about it. Morata and missing, says Akini. Hazard and inconsistency, says Aidan Moore. They're getting better and better. Flex and a hairline, says the God. Yes, that's good. High five. Shh. Peter Crouch, that's too far. And it's 2-1 to Schalke in the Manchester City game. Jetma says Titanic and the iceberg. That's sad. People died there. Just because it's over 100 years ago doesn't mean they didn't die. Lukaku. Anyway, we're nearly at half time. It's absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. I would say that actually, if I had to give a sort of percentage of who deserves to be winning or not, I would say it's pretty much 50-50. It is pretty much 50-50. I think Juventus have looked better on the ball, but Atletico Madrid have probably had the marginally better chances, but nothing majorly clear cut. But I think for the away team, Juventus will be pretty pleased. Bohi for United can play anywhere across the front three, says Football Fusion. Thank you for that. Do you think he can make the step up though? I'm not convinced. There's Ronaldo, good little bit of play there. Finds wide to Alexandro. Can he get a cross in? There's people in the box. He's probably overdone it, but he's won a corner. Noel and Liam. Noel and Liam sort of fit into the category we're going to in the second half. Rivals, the best rival partnership. Or the best partnership. They were probably one of the best partnerships, and now they're probably the best enemies, aren't they? They probably are. Anyway, it's a corner to Juventus. In it comes. And they clear it this time. Dean Torval and Romelu Lukaku. Ultimate poise and balance, says Nick P. And we've got somebody down injured again here. Clutching their face. Referee looks a little bit out of his depth, to be honest. Oh, he got a ball in the face. Nothing exciting. You know when they go back to it and show it and you think, oh, has somebody been elbowed in the face? I think Ronaldo might be coming off. He said, give me 5 minutes and we'll see. He won't want to come off, Ronaldo. He's not that sort of man. And also, as we were saying at the start of the half, he's got to make this Juventus move worthwhile, and that means going deep into the Champions League. And I think Juventus without Ronaldo becomes less of a team, really. It's like a fountain pen without the ink. How long can the ink carry on without the cartridge? I bloody hope United beat Liverpool at the weekend, If we lose that... Ooh. Best partnership, says A Taste for the Theatrical. Mark and FIFA 19. I'd put that into best enemies. I don't think we get on. Mark and Fruit Sellers. The game might be boring, but the stream certainly isn't, Mr. Elsie. I'm just keeping my eye on Ronaldo and that injury. We don't want to see Ronaldo coming off. I think he'll be alright. Just give him some deep heat. Spray some deep heat on and put some ice on for 10 minutes. DT and Mark's back pocket or Pogba and Zlatan, says Busters Suget. And you watching Arsenal or Emmerdale tomorrow, says Jordan such. I definitely categorically... Well, we just had another yellow card here. It's Partey. Thomas Partey has had a yellow card. And he will miss the next match as well. So this is not looking good for Atletico Madrid. And it was definitely a yellow card on Dybala. He's very late. 100% yellow card. Can't knock the referee. It's late. It's a yellow card. So Partey and Costa both out of the game. And Dybala could be out. He's looking injured as well. Lennon and McCartney, says Joe Arribas. So Atletico Madrid are losing players here, and that's a concern. The God says true Geordian hamburgers. Well, having met the guy in real life and seen what he ate before the show, I think that you're mixing him up with fat people there, because it ain't fat, it's muscle. Ronaldo! No. It's into Oblak's hands. Didn't really make a connection. The referee should be blamed for half-time, and he has. And it's 0-0. Simeone is trying to sort of grab a word with the referee because he's a moaning little shit. But I actually don't think the referee was any less favourable to Atletico Madrid as he was to Juventus. I thought he was a bit crap all round, really. But it certainly wasn't a penalty on Costa. The impact was outside the box, and it remains 0-0 as we move into the half-time chat. So open it up, people. Get in the chat. What should we talk about? Arsenal and Tottenham are the biggest banter clubs in London and the best partnership ever, says Nathaniel James. Well, I think Spurs are doing very well at the moment. I think if you look at Spurs over the last sort of 20 years, or when I've been watching football, so even longer, I think Spurs would be very happy with where they are at the moment. They've never been consistently a top 4 team, really, until recent years. They've never really won anything. They used to win the odd FA Cup. And they've certainly not really been seriously ever been title contenders for a long, long time. So I think Spurs are quite happy with where they are. I think Arsenal fans, you're right, banter. Dr. Chunky Biscuit says blackjacks and fruit salad. You know, I used to love them. Got them in a box of sweets for Christmas. Ate a blackjack. Ooh, just horrible. It's amazing how the palate changes, isn't it? Taylor J says Barte won, Arsenal won tomorrow. Mark calling it now, calling myself Mike as well. I think Arsenal will be comfortable tomorrow night, and I want them to be as well. I want them to stay in the Emmerdale Cup. Jack Albertney says, Mark, listen to I Got the Fever by Oasis. It's one of their very best. Which surprises me that doesn't come to mind, because I'm a massive Oasis fan and I can't think of that song. Favourite decade, says James Babington, as the chat topic. Well, that is a good question, because I might take some of these down for the podcast. That's such a good question. I do my podcast on a Friday, and good questions will end up as topics. So I'm going to nick that. Best TV show you've ever seen, Mark, says Peter Crouch. I'm going to nick that as well. I might not use it, but it's a good question. Best TV show ever. Probably Baywatch. Why are all the games 0-0, says Epic Challenge Bros? Because it matters. Because it matters, Epic Challenge Bros. It really matters to them. They don't want to lose, but they're so scared of losing they can't go and win. And that is why we're getting a lot of tight games. Also, Atletico Madrid and Juventus are traditionally very, very defensive tight sides. And Liverpool were just a bit off colour yesterday, and Bayern were a bit wasteful. So I think that was a bit of a freak 0-0, but I think tonight it's not a surprise. I think a lot of people would have predicted this probably. I'd say 1-1 is probably the most heavily betted result. And Anonymous has just said, thanks for spoiling Salford Football Manager. I just started watching today. I never even think about that. I never even think that there might be people just picking up the series and watching it. Anonymous, there'll be another one, don't worry. But look, it's still worth watching, because I think that actually, if you watch the Titanic, you know it's going to sink, but it's still a brilliant film. And much the same, and a lot of the critics would say this as well, there are a lot of similarities between the brilliance of the Titanic film and Mark Goldbridge's Salford Football Manager 19 career. I'm surprised it's not nominated for an Oscar actually, but there are lots of ups and downs and injustices, and also there's an iceberg. So yeah, lots of similarities. Best historical time period: Greek, Roman, Egyptian, says Akik Neebney. See, that's a little bit too historically nerdy for me. So no. I'm not speaking in Scouse accent, please, Johnny Meston, because we're playing them at the weekend and I'm nervous. I don't want to do anything that is going to get me ribbed, literally, on Sunday night. I think United can win that game, but I don't know. United Heart says Martial Lingard fit for the Liverpool match. Well, watch the United Stand stream that went out at 7 o'clock and you'll get your update. Do you think England will win the Nations League, says Jersey Boy? To be honest, I've not been a big fan of international football for a long time, but I'm starting to get very interested in England because of the talent that we've got coming through. You've got your Rashfords already. You've got Sancho coming through. Some really good young players coming through, and I'm starting to get interested in England. And I'm really looking forward to that Nations League, even though I've got no idea who's in it. Are we playing Portugal? Who are the other teams in it? Are France in it? I don't know. J Baz says, can you summarise your thoughts on the first half? Very quickly then. Nip and tuck, evenly matched. Not many clear-cut chances, if any. But tactically, very interesting game of chess. And I would say that Juventus are the more happier of the two at the moment because Atletico Madrid are a decent team. They're the home team. And also, Costa and Partey are both out of the second leg because they picked up yellow cards. So they're probably happier. How do you think Ronaldo will be? How long do you think Ronaldo will be at the top for, says Karimo? It can decline very, very quickly. But I would expect Ronaldo to be still good for at least another couple of years. Chelsea, Tottenham next Wednesday and Tottenham, Arsenal next week. I'd like to do those as watch-alongs, but they always clash with the United games because I know for a fact United are playing Palace next Wednesday, and I also know that United are playing at 3 o'clock against Southampton on the Saturday, so I would probably not be able to do those as watch-alongs, which is disappointing. What's your biggest fear? I'm going to use that for the podcast. I like that one as well. This is great material. I don't like Simeone's tactics, says Alex Trube. Yeah, it is a little bit more on the defensive side. Fucking Paul Ince on the telly again. He's on everything. What? Have all the major TV stations and papers just suddenly had a bang on the head and thought that Paul Ince knows what he's talking about? He's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere, and he knows sod all. He's a banter man. What's your thoughts on the FA Cup, especially for Manchester United? Says Muted Paladin 12. Look, when I grew up, when I were a lad, let's go back, let's get some old music on. When I was a lad, the FA Cup final, and you'll hear this a lot, I mean, Ollie was on about it the other day. When I was a lad, that the FA Cup final was the biggest event in the football calendar. The first one I really remember was, I don't really remember it, but I do remember it, if that makes any sense, was 85 and United winning it. 86... I mean, I must have been really young for the 85 one because I don't really remember a hell of a lot about the 86 one. But the first one I really remember from start to finish was Spurs against Coventry in 87. And then, obviously, United won the treble and didn't enter the following year because they went over to do this crappy World Cup thing of clubs, which was a waste of bloody time. And then ever since then, teams started playing their reserves and the FA Cup sort of died a death. But it's still a good trophy to win. It's the best English knockout tournament. I mean, the Carabao Cup, I just don't get the Carabao Cup, really. It should just be for your youth and the reserves. So, and you look at the FA Cup this year, I think they'll be very happy with it. You've seen United Arsenal, you've seen United Chelsea, big games, and United have won them both, which has been great. So I do like the FA Cup, but it's not a priority. There are other priorities for United. Who won the Champions League in your birthday year? Well, it wasn't called the Champions League. I can tell you that. Red Jedi, Spurs could win the Champions League and make Woodward's decision even harder. They could. I feel with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just very, very quickly, I feel with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and whether you're a United fan, a Liverpool fan, or a fan of somebody else, he's done such a fantastic job at Manchester United, but no matter how good a job he does, the next game, for different reasons, always becomes the one that he can't afford to lose, and if he wins it, then he will get the job. And I think Sunday, sort of everything he's done so far pales into insignificance, because if he was to get beat 3 or 4-0 by Liverpool, it would burst the balloon of everything he's done so far. But if he was to beat Liverpool, it would obliterate everything he's done so far. It's sort of like I almost feel that this is it. This game's it. Everything he's done before has shown he can do the job. But on Sunday, it's about, can you really have the job? When the going gets tough, when it really matters, in the game that you really cannot lose, can you win it? And I think that is the exciting thing. If Spurs won the Champions League, Pochettino wouldn't go anyway, says Byron Hall. You know what? I think it's hard for me to remember, because I film so many things and I record so many things for this week, and then sometimes you're just chatting about football, and I sometimes don't know what I've spoken about on upcoming videos or previous videos or just in a chat. I think I've spoken about this in a chat, so it doesn't matter if I say what I'm about to say, because I don't think it's going to be on a video tomorrow or one I've already done, so I'm going to bore you. But there's a big part of me, obviously, maybe it's tainted by the fact that I want Solskjaer to get the job at Manchester United, but there's a big part of me that actually wants Pochettino to stay at Spurs, because I just feel that with Pochettino, he's done such a good job at Spurs, and it doesn't feel to me that job's over yet. They've got a new stadium. They seem to be getting closer and closer and more consistent each season. And I would like him to stay at Spurs and continue doing what he's done. And then we get Solskjaer. I think that would be a nice story for everybody. It doesn't mean that nice story is going to happen. Of course it doesn't, but I would like that to happen. And I also feel that Solskjaer is the better option for Manchester United, because, well, realistically, he is our man. He used to play for our club, so that's the ideal, rather than nicking somebody else's. Theatre of Games says United versus Spurs in the Champions League. What happens? No injuries. I think United would win. I think United would beat Spurs with our best team against their best team. I do. If you think about United's front three being Martial, Lingard and Rashford, that midfield of Matic, Herrera and Pogba, Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof. I mean, right back's always the dodgy position for us, but obviously De Gea in goal. I think we're better than that. I'm just looking at an advert here. I don't know whether it's going to be a TV series or a film or a computer game. It's got to be a TV series. It doesn't look filmy enough to me. It looks a bit shit, actually. It looks too TV. Come on, tell us what it is. What is it? It's a long advert, that's what it is. I'll be telling you in a minute, and then maybe some people will know what it is and they can tell me what they think. But Anthem, it's a computer game. Anthem is a computer game where it's just been acted out like it was a real thing. I'm lost. I'm confused. I'm getting too old for this shit. Thoughts on Donald Trump? Too political. What's going on with Martial's apology? I haven't seen his apology. What's his apology all about? What's going on? What's going on? I know who PewDiePie is. I don't know who T is. Maybe I can look it up and talk about it on my podcast. I thought it was a movie, says Manchester United. Anthem's lit. Let's have a look at this then. Some breaking news. Ding 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 ding. Montiel on Twitter. Let's see if he's got an apology. I can't. It's in French. Let's see if we can translate. Google Translate. I love all this technology. Oh, I've got it. I would like to apologise to my relatives, my beautiful family, and especially my fiancée for the harm I've done in recent months. I made mistakes, and I'm sorry it will not happen again. Oh, Anthony, why would you put that on Instagram? Surely you just apologise privately to your family and your friends, and don't put it all over Twitter. But oh, Ronaldo was not saying give me 5 minutes because of my sore ankle. He was doing 5 minutes. He was doing 5 because he's won 5 Champions Leagues. It makes you wonder about Anthony Martial, doesn't it, in the apology? Nigel Jones, I was talking about this before, wasn't I? And I think Nigel was probably referring to that in his own thoughts. He says, this is why you should only care what they do on a football pitch outside of really hurting someone. Exactly. It's irrelevant, isn't it? Anyway, we're up and running in the second half here. I'm just trying to get the old timer up and running. No changes. And will we see a goal? Will we see a goal? Two Champions League watch-alongs in the last 2 nights. No goals. No bloody goals. So... how far into this game are we? We're not quite a minute in yet. We're not quite a minute. I'll tell you what, I'm very excited at the moment. I hope it's coming across in my voice because I love the big games in football. I really do. I love the big games in football, and I can't wait for Liverpool versus. I can't wait for Liverpool versus Manchester United. I just can't wait. I know it. I know Manchester United might lose, but I know we can win as well, and I just know how much is riding on it. A title for Liverpool. And United, keeping the momentum going and hopefully keeping all the top 4. I'm just so excited. I can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. We've had a super chat. Could be a very exciting summer for United, says Red Jedi. I think it'll be a very exciting summer for Manchester United, and obviously you can follow it on the United Stand. So make sure you do. It will be an exciting summer for United. I mean, we might not spend as much money as we all want to, and we'll be linked to about 400 players, and we'll discuss 400 players, but we'll certainly be signing at least 2 or 3, and we should be moving on 2 or 3. So that's interesting. Juventus, Ronaldo cross. It's going to drop on the edge of the box. Bentancur tries to hit it. He was stupid to try and hit it, and it's a corner to Juventus. Sunday, bloody Sunday, says Sean Eason. Cleared again from the corner. Juventus pick it up on the edge of the box and go back to the halfway line. Favourite Easter egg, Mark, says Neil Smith. Is that Easter egg in relation to hidden things in films, or is it the chocolate variety that you get to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ? I just find it as well, you know, I don't want to go down the religious routes, but if you're talking about Christianity, I find it funny how the birth of Jesus is basically now famous for Santa's birthday, and Easter, which is the death and resurrection of Jesus, is now famous for chocolate Easter eggs. You know, it's just amazing. It's just amazing the commercialisation of absolutely everything. But Ronaldo's going to hit this. It's going to go way over the bar. I would say my favourite chocolate Easter egg. Well, for a start, I can't be doing with Lidl, Aldi. Well, basically any chocolate shit eggs. It's got to be Cadbury's or Mars for me. It's got to be made by them. So whether it's Dairy Milk or whatever, or bloody Smarties or whatever, it's got to be either Mars chocolate or Cadbury's chocolate. So Galaxy, Dairy Milk, all good. But I'll tell you what chocolate bar I absolutely love at the moment. It is Dairy Milk's marvellous something, and basically it's got bits of popping candy in it and jelly. It's just a nice texture and it just tastes very nice. Lovely stuff. Oh, I think I've got a spot there. That hurts. Could you please do Real Madrid versus Barcelona on the 28th of February? Let me take a look in my book, because it's always about what is it, league, or is it Costa's in one-on-one and he's missed it. He's bloody missed it. He's got the pace on Chiellini. He's running through one-on-one. It's the chance of the game. Chiellini can't get back at him. He shoots, he misses, and he's bloody missed it. I mean, what happens is, it's a mistake by Chiellini. It's a good through ball by Griezmann. Bonucci ain't going to catch him. Oh, he's got to score. I mean, he shrugs Bonucci off. He should score. He knows he's missed a big chance. He's an idiot. Marvellous creations, Jay Nichol says. Well, it was a marvellous creation by Griezmann, and it was a shit miss by Costa. So, still 0-0, but should be 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. I don't think Ronaldo would miss that. What's your favourite national anthem? Says Walrus Productions. But it's got to be English, isn't it? I think your favourite national anthem has got to be that of your country, because it should stir emotion. But, and I don't know whether this is right, if the Russian national anthem is the one that's in Rocky 4, if that is the Russian national anthem, it is very, very good. It is very, very good, but I don't know whether it is. I do like Harry Potter, Hanji. I do. I was a bit annoyed this year, actually, because every year, because I have got kids, we watch Harry Potter, and we normally start watching the first film around the start of October, and because how life takes over, you can't sit and watch 7 films back to back. So, you watch an area in there, and we normally have them all watched by, the middle of November. And this year, we just didn't get time to finish it. So, yeah. Yeah, James Babington. And that is bar. Oh, no. Well, Atletico Madrid have gone up a gear here. Rocky 4 is the most amazing cheesy lift-up movie, James Babington. I did need to read that because it was good. But Atletico Madrid should be 2-0 up. It's a lovely little ball into Griezmann, and I don't know whether he hits it or the defender gets it, but it goes onto the bar and it's cleared. Let's just see what happens with this corner. But Atletico Madrid are knocking at the door. They're kicking the door in, but the door won't open and the corner is cleared. No, it's not. It is now. Red Baron says that I'm not a fan of the monarchy, so our national anthem is bloody awkward for me, so I don't enjoy it at all. Fair point. I've always liked Jerusalem as well. I think if you there should be 2 national anthems in the UK. One for the money, 2 for the joy. That'd be a dodgy penalty if they go to VAR. That's not a penalty. You could have Jerusalem, which is a good song. Throw into Atletico Madrid, cleared by Juventus. But Atletico Madrid have certainly... So this could go a little bit like the Spurs-Dortmund game from last week, where 0-0 at half-time. Who's going to book someone here? I think this ref's shit. So basically you've got Alexandro and I think it's Jimenez going in together. And he's going to book one of them for that. This ref's lost the plot. He's mad. He's absolutely mad. Am I missing something on this yellow card here? Alexandro does nothing wrong and gets booked. He's a crap ref. And now Alexandro misses the next match for bloody nothing. Nothing. There's a good save by Chesney to tip that onto the bar. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. They haven't done VAR review. It wasn't a penalty anyway. It hit his hand, but like it dropped onto his hand from like a metre away. It's not a penalty. That's not a free kick either. It's terrible referee. Basically, Alexandro goes to win a header, jumps. Jimenez goes underneath him. And it gives Sandro a yellow card. Just do not get it. You don't think you can appeal a yellow card, unknown 27? See... He's not a good referee. He's not a good referee. So Morata's warming up now, which is funny. Maybe we'll see a different Morata. Will the ketchup be out of the bottle on Sunday, says the Red Devil. I hope Sanchez isn't playing. I don't trust him in a game like that. Come on for the last 20 minutes when we need to hold on to a lead. That's where you want Sanchez, just to run around and be tenacious. But creative, God no. Is the ref as bad as the United PSG game, says Zillam Games? Well, you know, I thought the referee in the United PSG game was bad, but I don't think it really had an impact on the result. Although, you could say that Kimpembe should not have been on the pitch. And he was a bad ref, wasn't he, to be fair? I wouldn't use it as an excuse for why we lost. I hate to do that. This referee just looks clueless. They're probably the same. I think it's the same ref. I think they're related. McDonald's or Burger King, says Neil Smith. Good point, good question. And I would say that for me, it would have to be answered in the podcast on Friday. Because all the good stuff, I want to keep it back. Juventus not really doing much in this game. The referee's turned into a bit of a home wanker here. I mean banker. He's turned more. He's going towards the home team. Does Jizzhead really exist? Says Smut Beers. It could be this lad tonight. Fanta or Club Orange, says James Melly. I'd have to go with the Irish Club Orange. I haven't had any Club Orange for ages, actually. We use an Irish Butchers in Birmingham, and they get Club Orange in, because you can't buy it in the UK. Come on, Juve, do something. Ronaldo, into the box. Good block by Godin, but Ronaldo was nearly in there. Good bit of play. I prefer Queen to the Beatles, Gerardo. I know people are going to say that's sacrilegious, but I just prefer... I think the Beatles are good, and they had a great back catalogue, but I just prefer Queen's music. Nothing from the corners tonight really happening for either team. Atletico Madrid clear it. Chicken or beef, Richard Smith. Depends on your mood, doesn't it? It's a bit like Chinese or Indian food. I like them both. Sometimes you get a real craving for one and you don't want the other. I will play FIFA again, yes. Tamjid Aslam. Z says you should introduce some merchandise for the United Stand fans. Mate, watch this space. If it comes off, it's going to be the best merchandise ever. The reason I've never done merchandise for the United Stand is because I've had so many samples, we've tried so many things. And if you know me, you know I like good quality clothing. Hence the things like this. I don't wear shit clothing. And that doesn't mean it's not expensive. I met up with Flex and Rants last week actually in London, and we were on the tube to Stamford Bridge, and they were pointing at these pair of trainers, and they said, they're 700 quid. And I said, really? You're not blagging me? No, they are 700 quid. I can't remember the name. It was somebody's name. It wasn't like Nike or anything like that. It was somebody's name. They were like 700 quid pair of trainers, and they just looked like an average pair of trainers. And I was like, you see, that's where money and clothing becomes stupid. When you're spending so much money on something that you need everybody who's looking at that clothing to know what it is. And I said, that's lost on me. Them trainers may as well be nicked, like £5 trainers, because I don't know about that. But, so it's not about the price. I just like good quality clothing. So when we've been thinking about merchandise for the United Stand, you get loads of t-shirt companies saying we can mass produce these t-shirts. And I'll say, well, I'll send us a sample then. And it's just not quality. And I'm like, why would you want to be associated with people buying merchandise for your fan channel or whatever when the quality's not good? But we may have solved that problem now. So it could be soon. There's not a Juventus goal, Fleming Shohan. They weren't Louis Vuitton trainers now. I know that name, Luke. I fancy Atletico Madrid to score. I think they're hitting Juventus on the break a lot, and Juventus, it's the double-edged sword really. They're getting hit on the break a lot, and they're not actually creating anything when they're going forward. So, although here's Alexandro, Ronaldo. I mean, Atletico Madrid are very hard to score against as well. Defensively, I mean, here are Atletico Madrid, the home team. Edge of the box, 8 players behind the ball. So I think Morata's come on for Douglas Costa, hasn't he? Because I can't see him on the pitch anymore. Corner. Half an hour to go. They might have been them ones. They were probably Balenciagas. I've probably even announced it wrong. A few people are saying that. Unknown 27 and EHB. Yeah, and Harvey Deans and Harry Murphy. I'm going to Google it and then I can confirm it for you. Didn't quite look like that, but have a look. Yeah, it was those. It was definitely those. I can see the ones that it is. 645 quid. Balenciaga trainers. Why? Why are they so expensive? Let's have a look. It's because it's a name and celebrities endorse them. That's why, apparently. I'd never heard of them, Emmanuel. Never heard of them. Not until that. I think they look ugly as well. I agree with you. What's up 3? What's your favourite battle? Said Jamie. I think I've answered this before. For me, it's the Battle of Hastings, the Battle of Endor, and Helm's Deep. They're my 3 favourite battles. I prefer Oasis over Blur, Joa, but I did like Blur. There's some very good songs by Blur. This is the End, or is it This Is a Low? Sale of the Century or End of the Century. I've always said this. I've never had it like medically confirmed, but I'm convinced I'm mildly dyslexic. I get words mixed up all the time, and I have all my life. My mate at school was dyslexic though, and I'm not like that. We used to call him Spunner because he spelt spoon S-P-U-N. And don't start saying that's bullying, because that's just what used to happen in the 80s and 90s when you were a kid. It was a sign of affection to take the piss out of each other, to be honest. God forbid if you were spotty. I remember on the school sports day at secondary school, there was 5 houses at my school. This could go one of 2 ways, this story, but basically when I went to secondary school, you're in a school that's probably got about, well, I don't know, maybe 200 kids in each year. So well over 1,000 kids, and you go in and you get put in a house that's got forms in each house, and that's where you go and have your registration. And in your registration class, you've got people of all ages, and then you go off to the classes in your years. So they had 5 houses. I think there were Stuart, Thoroton, Rutland, Carnarvon, and Portland. So the 5 houses of the school I went to, which was I know what school it was. I don't know whether I should tell you. Anyway, 5 houses, and I was in Stuart. But on school sports day, the school would stop lessons and you'd have the sports day. So the whole school would be, and we had a running track at our school because our school was next to a leisure centre. So it's quite good actually, because you got to use all the facilities of the leisure centre. So on school sports day, the whole school would be out around the running track, around the edge of it, and you'd have all the events, and it was really good. It was probably better than most school sports day because we had the leisure centre. We could do javelin, discus, shot put, all the track events. It were proper good. And this girl in our year, we were only first year, so it's right at the start of secondary school when you're a first year, because they've changed the years now, but you'd go, I think you went all the way to year 5, and then it was A-levels. So we'd only just got to the school. It's the first summer, I suppose. It's the 100 metres girls race for the first years. The whole school's watching it, and this girl from Carnarvon, halfway through, shits herself. Like, not because she's scared. I think she had a dodgy tummy, and she started running, and it wasn't only her legs that were running down the track, it was the shit down her legs. And that happened to her in her first year in front of the whole school. You shit yourself on a school sports day. You're not going to forget that for the rest of your school life. I don't think she got a boyfriend until she was about 23, because she wasn't a brilliantly good looking girl anyway, but no one's going to go out with a girl known for shitting themselves on school sports day. You just don't come back from that sort of thing, do you? Otamendi's been sent off for Man City. My most embarrassing moment in my lifetime, Joey Jones. I've had a few, but I don't think I've ever done anything like that. I'm trying to think if I've done it. I mean, it would jump to mind, wouldn't it? I'll come back to that from Nick P. It's a good comment. No, well, I'll answer that now, actually. Let's get on with that one now. Atletico Madrid are on the counter-attack here. Juventus have got men left. Griezmann. I think Griezmann's looked okay tonight. Without scoring, he's looked okay. Nick P says, I spent last night battling with a guy on YouTube who decided because your real name's not Mark, they don't trust your content. Seems like it's okay for troops, DT, etc. not to use their names, but not you. Haters are going to hate, aren't they? As I've said so many times. I'm a very well-mannered person, really. I very rarely lose my temper, and it's getting very repetitive, the questioning now about my real name, when I've said to people so many times why it happened. I literally wouldn't be on YouTube if I hadn't used the name Mark Goldbridge. And now I've been using that name for over 4 years. I like using that name. It's my identity on YouTube. And that's as simple as it is. It's a goal! It's Morata! It's 1-0. It's Atletico Madrid. And we are stunned. And the score has changed and he's happy. And I don't know why Juventus are even appealing it. It has been coming. It has been coming. Atletico Madrid leading 1-0. And that will put a cat amongst the pigeons. Just not good enough from Juventus tonight. I've got to be absolutely honest. They've not been good enough. And Atletico Madrid, Costa had a good chance. Griezmann had a good chance. And now Morata has had a good chance. I don't know what they're complaining about. A push. I don't know whether even if it's gone to VAR. About a push on Chiellini. Well, he might. He's going to look at it. He's going to look at it. Red Jedi says that's going to be a foul. I don't know why Chiellini, the captain of Juventus, would go down so easy like that. It's going to VAR. It's not a goal, says Mr. JR450. Here we go with the VAR. Well, can we see what he's looking at? Yeah, that's a push. I just think Chiellini makes a big deal of it, but... Oh, he's no goal! Wow. Only Morata can score a goal and still miss. It's not a goal. I think the ref's got it right. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of VAR. I'm not a fan of VAR, and I think it will be up and down. But on the two things it's been used for tonight, it's actually benefited the team I want to win, Juventus. And I think it's got it right. I think Chiellini made a bit of a meal of it, but if you know anything about... If you watch a lot of Italian football like me, but if you know anything about Chiellini, which you should do, why would Chiellini duck out of a header that was easy for him to win? And if he made, I mean, Kwesi King says Chiellini dived. Well, if he did that, he's stupid because he could have won the header. He could have won the header. So to dive would have been stupid because he could have won the header. So the cross wasn't so good that Chiellini couldn't get the header. Morata definitely put an arm on him. Whether it was enough to push him out of the way, I don't know. But no goal. It's 0-0. Otamendi sent off for Man City. It's still 2-1 in that game. But VAR has been used twice in this game and it has deprived Atletico Madrid of a penalty and a goal. Quite rightly, I think, but others may disagree. Oh, I agree with Mr. JRVD, 5VD there. You know, Chiellini definitely made a meal of the push, but he could have won the header. So I don't know what he was on about. I don't know what he was doing, really. Chris Smalling is screwed once VAR comes in, says Red Baron. It's the end of his career, isn't it? It is. Well, we've only got 15 minutes to go. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Oh, bloody hell, we're going to hit 60,000 again. We're only 22 away. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Let's hit 60,000 again. We did it last night, and for some reason, the subscribers disappeared. I don't know what happened. I'm hoping they're going to come back. But it'd be nice to hit 60,000 2 nights in a row. Weird, but nice. It's been entertaining, that. I think VAR in that instance does add entertainment, doesn't it? But, you see, I don't mind that VAR there because you might want Morata's goal to be given. You might be like me, you want Juventus to win, so you don't want it to be given. But ultimately, it still creates a debate point, doesn't it? Because it's not clear and obvious. The referee will interpret it as, oh, that's clear and obvious, there's a contact, it's a penalty, but it's not a goal. But I think another referee might look at that and go, I think Chiellini's overreacted there. There's not enough impact for him to do that. I'm giving the goal. So it still comes down to the referee's interpretation. And I think on the clear and obvious ones, that's fine. But I just think the game's better without it. I think the game's better where that goal's given and you go, oh, it was a push. It shouldn't have been given. But then. And some people would say, but then Juventus fans feel aggrieved and Atletico Madrid fans get away with it. But in this instance, Atletico Madrid fans feel aggrieved and Juventus get away with it. It's, you know, what does it do? Sal Young says, I've sent an email regarding the internship. Thank you very much. I'll have a look at that, pal. We've hit 60,000 subscribers again. Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. I've enjoyed these watch-alongs, so make sure you do get involved with the channel. We will do, when I can do them, I'll do them. We'll always do them for the Champions League. Red Devil says, Ollie is the man for United. Pochettino is the only real contender, and I think Ollie would do a better job with what he can offer him and what he can offer us. I agree. VAR has denied Morata a goal, but there's a corner here. I mean, I think Atletico Madrid, I don't think anybody could lie and say that Atletico Madrid deserved to be in front this second half. I think it was an even first half, but second half, Atletico Madrid have definitely shaded it. I think Juventus have defended well, as you would expect for an Italian team, but I don't think they've done enough going forward in this game. Goal! That's a goal. Atletico Madrid, it is deserved. It's scrappy in the box, and it's Jimenez who just passes it home. Easy finish. And I don't think they're going to go to VAR this time, although Alexandro is trying to say they should do. They're not going to go to VAR this time. Surely not. What is your combined 11 for United Liverpool, says Sebastian Anderson? I'm going to do that later in the week, mate, but it's 1-0 at the moment, and I'm just trying to see if this goal... I thought there was a push on Sandro there. Well, there's somebody clutching their face. Well, it's Jimenez who scores the goal as well, who hits Bonucci in the face. And again, you've got to say, why are Italian defenders of the quality of Bonucci and Chiellini going down so cheaply? It's a big risk to make when they then go and score. Well, they're not VAR in that one. It's 1-0. So we can change the scoreline. I thought they might VAR that one because I think in some ways it was as similar as the first one. But it's no VAR. It's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. I tell you what, Atletico Madrid have been very good this second half. And Dybala, again, invisible, as Red Jedi said. Yeah, it's not good. Atletico Madrid have been the better team second half. They deserve it. I said this before the game, that I'm not convinced that Juventus are one of the favourites to win the Champions League. Juan Medina's right. You can't say that Atletico Madrid don't deserve it. They do deserve it this second half. They could, to be honest, they could be 2 or 3-0 up. Juventus have done sod all second half, apart from defend. And I think if Atletico Madrid are going for the second goal, and if they get that, I think the tie's over. Corner. Where is Douglas Costa, by the way? Is he injured? Because I can't stand Mandzukic as a footballer. He just reminds me of Fellaini. He's too slow. Atletico Madrid are very good at home, but they suck away, says Asley. Agil says Atletico was better all through the game, Mark. I disagree with you. I think Juventus were the better team in the first half. I think Atletico Madrid probably looked a little bit more threatening, but it was a very equal first half. Second half, Atletico Madrid, 100%. Alexandro should probably be sent off. That's, it wasn't a yellow card on the first one, but the second one. You know what? Watching that goal back again, I can't believe they've VAR'd the first one and then they don't VAR the second one. Because I actually think Jimenez fouls Bonucci more than Morata fouls Chiellini on the goal that got disallowed. Again, the inconsistency... It just makes me think, why have we got VAR? Why can't we just stick to the system that we've got? Yes, you're always going to get mistakes in the current system, but the VAR one is just weird. It's 2-0 to Atletico Madrid, and I think Juventus are going out. They're just terrible defensively. Would you want Ronaldo to finish his career at United to Sebastian Anderson? I would have liked him to have come back last summer, but this reminds me of Manchester United versus Juventus in Turin. They're just a shambles at the back. And I think Ronaldo's thinking, what have I done? What have I done coming to Juventus? They're not good enough. And he'd be right. 2-0 Atletico Madrid. Corner into the box. Cross comes into the box. Chesney's all over the place. You may as well have Chesney Hawks in goal. Mandzukic with a crap clearance. And Godin shoots past Ronaldo. It goes in off Ronaldo, to be honest. But where's Chesney? Why is he not on his front post? Because he's lying down on the bloody floor thinking the cross is coming in. Oh, that's shit keeping by Chesney. He dives from a cross that never makes it. Reactions of a dead tortoise. And it's 2-0. So I think it will be an interesting second leg. It will be an interesting second leg, but I do think that Juventus will be going out. I don't think Juventus are going to score 3 goals without reply in Turin. Because defensively, they're suspect. I was surprised Cancelo never started the game for Juve, to be honest. I've been a bit disappointed with Bonucci and Chiellini tonight. I think why are 2 of the best centre-backs in the world game falling over from minimum contact? I mean, surely that's the whole idea of a centre-back, is that you run through brick walls and you worry about fouls after. And they just can't deal with decent crosses into the box. It's 2-2. Sane scored for City. 2-2. So City will be going through. 10 men and they've still got to 2-2. Amazing goals, this gameplay 6. Well, Juventus on the attack here. But it's been too easy for Atletico Madrid. They're past it, says Phil Mitchell. I think the Juventus team, the whole Juventus team, is just too slow. And it's always my concern. I always say this about Italian football. I like it, but it's a slower league than the La Liga and the Premier League. It is a slower league. And the tempo is slow. Free kick. Tell you what, Tottenham have got a bloody tough couple of games, haven't they? They've got Chelsea next Wednesday and then they've got Arsenal on the Saturday. And they've got to play City and Liverpool. I mean, and people think Tottenham can win the league. I think there's your answer. Can Tottenham win the league? No. Here's Lamar. I'll tell you what, if I was Atletico Madrid, I'd keep my foot down on the pedal and try and get 3. Tyrone Williams says it's crazy how quiet Dybala's been. Yeah, I like Dybala, but I've said this before about him. He can have very, very quiet games. I remember against Spurs last year in the Champions League, he was ridiculously quiet, and then I think he had a good 10 minutes. I think he scored and made a goal, and it's like, well, that's quality. But he's gone off the pitch now, shit. But he didn't have a very good game. But then again, I mean, to be fair, Ronaldo has looked a threat. He had a good couple of runs, but living off scraps. To be fair, they have lived off scraps. The attack of Juventus tonight, the midfield's just not done enough. I think if Ronaldo was still at Real Madrid, he'd still be as good. But the quality of players he's got around him and how quick they move it's just not good enough. I've been disappointed with Juventus tonight. Oh, that's got to be a foul. Griezmann yellow card? Well, he doesn't miss the next game, so I don't know why they're making a big deal out of it. It's a nasty foul by Griezmann, to be fair. Although he thinks he gets the ball. You can't tackle like that, Antoine. Not in the modern game. 10 years ago, it would have been a cracking tackle. It's 2-2 with City, the Brady G. I've enjoyed tonight. I hope you all have as well. Make sure you do give the United Stand video a watch that I did at 7 o'clock. Moved it from 7 to 8, from 8 till 7 the last couple of nights because of Champions League. But we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm not moving the United Stand 8 o'clock slot on an Emmerdale Cup night. I'll do it for the Champions League, but not on Emmerdale Cup. So I'll be back normal live at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Late free kick here for Juventus. I'll be stunned if they score. Good save by Oblak. Nearly. That away goal could have been crucial. Bernardeschi over the bar. To be honest with you, he hit it too high. City are now winning from 10 men down. From 10 men. That's a shit shot. So a good setup on the free kick, but it's a shit shot. Well, this is why I think Atletico Madrid will win, because I don't see... You know, Godin and Jimenez are better than Bonucci and Chiellini, to be honest. And they've proved it tonight. And I just don't think Atletico Madrid are capable of conceding more than 2 goals in a game. And then you've got Oblak. Stumek says it's a deserved result because Juventus have done bogger all. They have. They've been very, very poor attackingly. Attackingly, is that a word? Oh, they might get a third here and put the game to bed. Oh, not shooting like that, Lamar. Sterling with a cracking goal, says Aguils. I mean, I think Liverpool fans would probably celebrate that City win more than... Not more than City fans, obviously, but, you know, they will want City to stay in the tournament because I don't think it matters too much at the moment, but if you think about it, City are going to get a difficult game in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, and then fatigue starts to set in, doesn't it? Ronaldo furious there. Wrong pass picked. I mean, Juventus have left it too late. Griezmann doesn't miss the next match, no, Salami. I think they were just angry that it was a free kick. Where is your Watchalong companion? Has he joined the Bukaki party, says Sebastian Anderson. Yes, he did. He was meant to be on tonight, and then he did. It'll be about a month's time, I think, the United Stand trials. Drew? Is there a chance for Juventus? Over the bar from Ronaldo. I think he'd rather have not headed that. It was too high for him. Yeah, it's too high for him. You can get a high, Yusuf Ahmed. High. Yeah, even Ronaldo can't jump that high. It's a good cross by Bernardeschi and... it's just too high for Ronaldo. I like Bernardeschi as a player, Darth Maul. He should be starting games for them. I think the second leg's going to be interesting, though, because Juventus will obviously attack a lot more, and they don't have Douglas Costa. So I think it's going to end 2-0. Deserved results. I think Schalke have just scored to make it 3-3. I don't know whether that's certain or not. I still think Man City are still going to go through, obviously. Joshua Epstein Tasgals is going to get a shout out for my mum, please. She's 89. Xylem Games says maybe Ronaldo would have done a better job bicycle kicking that. I think if he'd done that, it would have broke a world record as well, because he was leaping about 5 metres off the ground just to head it. Final whistle is done. So not good enough from Juventus. Deserved victory from Atletico Madrid. We'll certainly look forward to the second leg of that in a few weeks' time, which you can watch on here, along with the Bayern Munich game and the Spurs game. So some very interestingly poised games. Ronaldo looks pissed off. He's a winner, of course he's going to look pissed off. But advantage Atletico Madrid. Disappointing from Juventus second half, but a good result for Atletico Madrid. And it's 3-2 to Man City. I've been trolled, but to be honest, I don't really give a shit. Thanks everyone for watching. Please go and watch the United Stand video I put up earlier if you've not watched that. And we'll be back tomorrow as well. But really enjoyed the stream as per usual. Hope you did as well. I'll speak to you all soon.